and the Rams have not seemed to have been affected by the heat at all. They have rolled up a 38-7 halftime lead over the Green Bay Packers, and the Rams will start with the ball first in the second half. Chris Jackie, the rookie, will kick it off from UTEP, and he's had a good preseason for Green Bay. Coach Infante thinks he's found himself a good kicker. Had a 57-yard field goal in the preseason. As the coach pointed out, wind aided, but nonetheless, he was 6 of 8 in the field goal category during the exhibition season.
Chris Jackson.
Ron Brown from the 4-yard line. To the 33-yard line of Los Angeles. Vernell Dent made the stop there. Dent's been alternating with Johnny Holland at one of the inside linebacker positions. Suffered a cut forehead last week, so it's a little sore for him to wear the helmet, but he's out there doing his thing. Jim Everett comes on the field for Los Angeles. A very poised, confident young man these days, and he's had himself a terrific first half. Academic All-American out of Purdue. Both his parents are teachers in Albuquerque, Mexico. This is Bell, tripped up right at the line of scrimmage by Tim Harris, falling forward for a pickup of maybe 3 on the play. See where they spot the ball.
Well, you get a 31-point lead. You're looking to practice your running game. You're going to be out there. You're going to have your offensive line pounding a little bit. You don't want to give the defense too many chances, and Tim Harris is a good example of a guy that might have a chance of getting a shot on Jim Everett in this type of situation. They're going to want to really pound it out and eat up time on the clock.
Well, where he went down was behind the line of scrimmage, and they spot the ball for about the loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Forehand motion. Bell again. And again, nowhere to turn upfield at the corner. John Anderson was there, along with the safety Mark Murphy. Murphy left the field a little bit early, Randy, at the end of the first half with some heat exhaustion. It's in the high 80s out there.
It's tough down here. They're used to more humidity. It's a dry heat down here in Southern California, and naturally they're used to being in that nice clean air of Wisconsin, and the air down here in Southern California this weekend was not what you refer to as exactly clean and healthy.
Well, evidently they get this kind of hot week in September, even though it should be fall in Southern California too. Anderson, Ellard, and Cox, 3 wide receivers in. Everett for Ellard, and it is tipped away. Getting a hand on it, Van Jakes, with Ellard open behind him, but Jakes leaping high to bat it away.
The Rams brought that old counter play out again with a play-action pass. Something you're a little surprised to see them having Jim Everett out there running around in this type of a situation. They're going to sort of empty the playbook here. They're going to try a lot of different things you're not normally going to see out of the Rams.
Dale Hatcher, just his 2nd punt today. Here's a guy that went back home in the offseason to beef up, and beef up he did to about 255 pounds. That's a big punter. The 30-yard line, Mickey Sutton. Getting to the 39-yard line of Green Bay. So Majkowski brings out the Packer offense. He'll try to get something going after the 39-yard punt by Hatcher. And you can see it's still plenty hot down on the field. The sun is sinking behind us on our side of the stadium in the west, but it is still very hot out on the field.
The Packers left Green Bay. It was in the 40s.
Brent Fullwood slipped slightly as he made the cut, but still turned it into about a 5-yard gain before Mel Owen stopped him. Number 58. Dilweg signaling in the next play to Majkowski, and there is the big guy. Looks like he's bored with inactivity there.
Tony, we keeping you up?
You know,
that's great. He's ready to go, though. He's got to really want to get in. Look, his helmet's all strapped up. He's his coach. He figures if he gets next to the signal guy, the coach can't ignore him.
Well, we'll see. He's scheduled to get some more play. He worked the whole series, and they had a good thing going until the fumble. Majkowski's got a man open and overthrows Sterling Sharp. That'll bring up third down.
Sterling Sharp clearly broke free on that play, and Don Majkowski stood in there well, was getting a little rush, and just overthrew him.
Lindy Infante said he's much happier with the play of Sterling Sharp here in his second year. The #1 choice a year ago. He's got 11 catches in 2 games. Feeling that he's kind of handed him the ball as the receiver, if you will. They cut Stanley and Epps, and they've indicated to Sharp that they expect him to be the big play man that a #1 draft choice should be. Third down. In and out of the hands of Sharp, and there's a flag down on the play, and it'll be an interference call, it would appear, on Clifford Hicks. Hicks, number 28, had the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 28. First down.
So the Pack has a first down approaching midfield. And that brings on a bunch of new Ram defenders. Reed, Peel coming back, getting some time. Mike Peel, their #3 pick out of Illinois this year. Or last year, pardon me, in '88. Spent last year on injured reserve. There he is, big kid, 6'4", 265. Kemp in the slot left. And they go to him. He's hit immediately, but he hung on to the ball. Jerry Gray made the pop on him, and he got maybe a yard. That's about it. So the temperatures on the field continue in the mid-80s. A little bit of a wind, certainly not a factor for the players down there, and kind of high humidity, 68 degrees. But Californians enjoy this weather. It's kind of a second summer in September, but the Green Bay Packers, it just soon things cool off in more ways than one, eh, Randy?
It's not going to cool off too much for Don Majkowski. You see Greg Bell enjoying the breeze from the fan on the sideline of the Rams, but Majkowski's going to get some heat. Fritz Shermer, as the defensive coordinator for the Rams, is going to start throwing a lot of things at him.
Majkowski for the tight end West, and it is incomplete. Scrambled for the ball, but he never had it. And that's being signaled down on the field by the officials. Mel Owens on the coverage.
Don Majkowski is going to throw the ball out here to the right to Mr. West. The ball comes in. Let's see here. Ball is in his chest. I don't know. I don't know if he had the ball trapped against his chest or the linebacker pressed the ball against his chest. It's going to be a tough call.
The old slow motion view there, though, you know, sometimes that can be deceiving.
That's true. Here from a different angle, the ball, we'll say it be pressed up against his chest. I don't know. It's a tough call. He may have, he may not. That's one of the jobs. I think the refs do an unbelievable job. I think we get to see things in slow motion. They don't have that luxury. They got to make a snap decision.
Well, sometimes the slow motion is deceiving, and it looks like they're reviewing it as we speak. The point is, if you see that in regular speed, again, my thought would be that it would not even be in doubt. I think sometimes the slow-mo look at it can be deceiving. Let's see it in regular speed. Thank you, gentlemen. Downstairs, our producer Bob Monsbach and company.
Yeah, it looks like it's stripped out real quick.
I mean, it just, you know, bing, bing.
The rules would tell you the receiver has to have possession of the ball and have both feet down for it to be a legal possession. And you can't really tell on regular speed. Happens so quick.
Well, the play is going to stand as called by us here and by the officials down there. Incomplete. So it is a third down, Green Bay, and 9 in midfield, and we used up a little sunshine time there, working that one over. Majkowski with a flag down. Sharp with a fine catch, climbing the ladder for a first down. Green Bay at the 34-yard line. Clifford Hicks had the coverage on him. Well, that's what Lindy Infante wants to see and get from Sterling Sharp.
Well, he said Sterling Sharp didn't even score a touchdown last year until about the 15th, 16th game. He can't have that from a guy that's supposed to be, like you said earlier, a real big play.
91 defense lined up the neutral zone. Is declined. Pass is ruled complete. First down.
Nowadays in the NFL, wide receivers do many, many, many things. One of the things they've got to do, when the quarterback puts the ball up there, you got to go after it. Great example of that by Sterling Sharp. He put it up there where only Sharp could get to it, and he was willing to go get it and get those feet in.
Play action, and Majkowski flush now. He'll take off with it. Takes it out of bounds. Picking up about 6 yards on the play. Inside the 30 to the 28 of Los Angeles.
Kevin Green's starting to be more and more of a factor here. He knows they've got to pass, so he's pulling everything out of his bag of tricks coming from his left linebacker spot. He is getting after Weingart.
Clint Didier comes in.
A quarterback's worst dream. I think nightmare is closer. He is a very intense guy. Kevin Green, we talked to him Friday. Very businesslike. Heck, he had his game face on Friday afternoon when we spoke to him.
Yeah, and his baseball cap on backwards. The Hulk Hogan look happening there.
He's just trying to keep the sun off his neck.
Woodside to the 20-yard line. First down, Green Bay. Good drive going here for the Packers. Tim Ryan with Randy Cross here at Anaheim Stadium. The Los Angeles Rams had a 10-0 lead at the end of the first quarter and then turned it into a 38-7 lead at halftime, and that's where we are here. But the Packers now driving upfield with a good-looking drive engineered by Don Majkowski. First down just outside the 20.
If you're thinking long-term for your season, you want a team to react to a bad situation like this with coolness and efficiency.
Woodside. Good defensive work by the Rams, stringing it out, giving them nowhere to go, and everybody around the ball. We heard so much of Fritz Schirmer, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, telling us that that's what he wants these guys to do, especially when they're looking upfield, to be able to have everybody get to the ball. Strickland made the initial hit.
And here you see Packers 88.8% of the time they're going to get a touchdown so far this season. A little deceiving. It's only 2 weeks, but it gives you a good idea. These guys are starting to really grasp Lindy and Farney's offensive system.
Second down and a long 8. One setback forward. Got a man open in the middle. That's Sharp. Sharp fights his way to the end zone. Touchdown. Sterling Sharp carrying Michael Stewart with him. And a good drive, an 18-yard score, culminating that good-looking drive.
There he is on the inside, number 84 in the middle of the screen, cuts across. He's going to catch the ball. Watch, he hesitates like nobody's going to hit me. Oh, geez, okay, I'll go straight upfield. Good drive. He drives through there. The Rams are a team you can see that is ahead. They're arm tackling. You can't arm tackle in the NFL. You've got to put your arms around a guy and drive.
Point after is good from Jackie, and it is 38-14. Nearby Disneyland, where lots of dreams and fantasies are built, and Los Angeles Rams fans are thinking big things this year for their team. And on the basis of the score right now, they have a right to, but the Packers have scored to make it 38-14, and the Rams must be thinking, well, a week ago, we must remember what the Packers did to New Orleans, coming back from 21 points down. From the goal line, Ron Brown, near the 20. And the Rams offense will start from there. Green Bay going 61 yards in 9 plays. Majkowski topping it off with an 18-yard scoring strike to Sterling Sharp. That's the kind of a drive Lindy Infante would hope that they could generate coming out. Got to be a little down after the events of the first half, and to see your young quarterback take them downfield, just what you were talking about, Randy.
Well, exactly. I think they're a little stung, they're a little embarrassed, and they're just out to make a point. They're being realistic. They're not going to try to score 31 points all at once. They're going to nick away and just have a good time and prove they belong in this league.
Everett wants to throw on first down. He's sacked. So the Packer defense comes alive, and look at the spirit exhibited there. Harris and Sean Patterson.
And that's the Green Bay Packers' first sack of 1989. Patterson will be the second person on the left here, working against Robert Cox, number 72, the left tackle for the Rams, and he just pulls a little cloth, runs around him, and meets Tim Harris at the quarterback. It seems that they got there at the same time. It'll be up to the scorekeeper as to who gets that sack.
Cox, your fellow UCLA Bruin alumnus, playing for Irv Pankey, who left the game back in the first half with a neck. Cox has gone for Pankey since. Bell with flags down. He's got nowhere to go. Packer pursuit stops him near the 10-yard line. Murphy and Patterson again on the hit. Fired up Sean Patterson out of Arizona State, their number 2 choice a year ago. Lindy Infante tells us that he thinks this guy's right on track to becoming a real good defensive player. As a rookie last year, breaking him in slowly, but now a full-time starter.
Defense, number 97. Penalty is accepted. It'll still be second down.
Harris picks up the infraction.
Well, that's one of the bad things. Tim Harris moves around an awful lot. He can go anywhere in that defense he wants, and he gets offsides once in a while. There's total offense. Green Bay 248, Rams 282, but the story has been the interceptions and the fumbles for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, that's it. They've actually been more than holding their own here in terms of yardage. Second down. Everett. Picked out. Brian Noble. Noble to the 22-yard line. The pass intended for Holohan. Not a good throw from Everett. And Noble's got at least 300 people here cheering and yelling for him, his friends and family from Anaheim.
I tell you, the Green Bay Packer defense is showing some of this fire and enthusiasm we mentioned at the top of the show. Brian Noble, number 91, in the middle of your screen here. Jim Everett's not really pressed. He sees a few hands in his face, steps to the side, throws right into Noble's hands. Maybe Everett, they talked before the game. He says, Brian, I know you're from here. You got family. I'll throw you a little gift. The Rams had better wake up. This is a team that has shown last week they have the ability to come back on anybody, and the New Orleans Saints they did it to are not a bad team.
First down at the Rams 22. Kemp and Sharp the receivers. Good catch by Perry Kemp. Richard Brown, the linebacker, number 92 out of San Diego State, made the tackle on him. Held him to about a 7, maybe 8-yard gain. Let's see where they spot it. Just inside the 15. That'll leave 2nd and 3.
I tell you from experience, having been in a situation like this before, you're talking in the huddle right here, let's hang in there. Let's get some points. They score another touchdown, it won't be let's hang in there. It'll be we can come back. We can beat these guys.
Woodside. Stacked up at the 10-yard line, but he has a first down. Graham came away with the ball, but I believe play had been whistled dead. Michael Stewart came up with the ball after Brown made the hit, but it is still Packer ball. 38-14. Ram leads, 7:18 to go in the third quarter. And the Packers threatening again, having just scored minutes ago. Didier hustling onto the field. John Robinson, I'm sure, is going to send wake-up calls out if the Packers get this in the end zone. He will vocalize along the sideline. Forward. Touchdown. That's the kind of running that they have wanted from Brent Fullwood since they picked him number 1 in '87. He hasn't delivered it until this year. 11 yards for the score.
A sure sign of a team that's not playing with emotion is one that will not tackle correctly. He breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles. Great run by Brent Fullwood. The Rams better stop looking at the menus and the sideline of the nice restaurants here in Orange County and start paying more attention to guys like Brent Fullwood here in the Green Bay Packers.
Jackie with a point after. And we've got a long way to go, folks, and suddenly 38-21, a margin that could decrease further. You're looking at Vince Newsom, number 22, giving a pep talk, we presume, to that Rams defense, which has given up 2 quick touchdowns here in the third quarter. And now the lead is 38-21, and he was being quite vocal to his teammates there moments ago. Green Bay kicking it off. Jackie. Ron Brown from the 4-yard line. Sideline. To the 44-yard line. Johnny Holland got him, but it was the kicker, Jackie, who slowed him up. Well, that could have been a problem. Let's go back to that touchdown.
There's Michael Stewart lined up right here at strong safety over the tight end. You got an angle right here down on this guy. Brent Fullwood is going to just run right through here and break through. The key, really, is you got Newsom here, and about 2 other guys are going to get shots on him, and they're not going to make the tackle. Brent Fullwood's running hard, but the Rams right now are lacking the zing and the aggressiveness they need. Clifford Hicks misses him, Newsom misses him, and he's in.
So a good return by Ron Brown on the kickoff has the Rams first down at their 43. Buford McGee gets a couple to the 45. Now this has been quite an interesting game in the way it has developed as McGee gets some turf removed from his helmet. You can see the early lead by the Rams and then a huge one at halftime. But 2 touchdowns here in the third by Green Bay, shades of what they did a week ago to New Orleans. Made this much more interesting. Key kickoff return by Brown, giving the Rams good field position, however. 2nd and 8. Everett eludes Harris, but Harris gets him again. Back to the 39-yard line.
And that's Tim Harris's first solo sack of the year. He's excited. He told us last night, I got to get some sacks. They're moving me around. They're letting me freelance. I've got to get some results from it. You're not going to see him coming out of the right-hand side. Buford McGee, number 24, is going to try to block him. He comes inside, misses it the first time. McGee comes back and blocks him. Sign of a great defensive lineman, persistence. He comes back, and he doesn't get away the second time.
He can move that big man, that's for sure.
And he says, what do you think of me now, guys?
Gave it a little Mike Tyson look. 3rd down at 15. Everett, complete to Ellard, dropped immediately by Murphy. And the Rams will have to punt.
What we're seeing, Tim, is a Green Bay defense that's playing the way they said they wanted to last night. Talking to Brian Noble and Dave Brown, they said we've got to be aggressive. We don't have to worry about Ellard. We don't have to worry about Everett. We have to stop the Rams, not one person.
So Hatcher will come in to punt, and Green Bay will quickly get the ball back. So they are doing exactly what they need to do to launch what has to figure as an improbable comeback. Still got a long way to go. Hatcher's punt goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So we'll return to Anaheim Stadium. 4:34 still to play in the third. Rams on top.
The Everett to Ellard connection. The Montana to Rice Express. The NFC West takes to the sky next Sunday.
Tim Ryan and Randy Cross in Anaheim Stadium, where things have heated up beyond the temperature on the field. Green Bay, with 2 consecutive touchdowns, has completely dominated this third quarter.
-5 total offense for the Rams. Everett had 170-some-odd yards. Bell had 117, 120 yards in the first half. Green Bay's playing the kind of defense that will enable them to get right back in this game.
Majkowski airs it out. On the money. Sterling Sharp to the 20-yard line.
The Rams are making a big mistake. They're letting a very enthusiastic, veteran-led team like the Green Bay Packers start getting excited again about being in the game. From the top of the screen, we're going to see this gentleman right there, number 84, Sterling Sharp, going one-on-one. Majkowski just fakes a little play action. Clifford Hicks turns to run with Sharp right here. Majkowski throws it as far as he can, and it's right over the shoulder. Beautiful concentration. Nice catch, Sterling Sharp.
Clifford Hicks had the coverage and hauled him down, but not before he got to the 22. A 58-yard gain. 6 catches on the day. Incomplete as the intended receiver, Woodside, appeared to stumble as he hit the grass from the infield dirt here in the baseball configuration. Jerry Gray had the coverage for the Rams, 2nd down.
This is a good time for Don Majkowski to temper his enthusiasm. He's probably getting a little pumped up now. He's getting excited. This is another time, like earlier in the game, where Don might be trying to force a pass. He's got to take a few deep breaths and concentrate.
3 interceptions in the first half for Majkowski, but he rallied from a bad first half a week ago. Lots of time for him. Goes to the release man. That's Fullwood. He gets to the 15 and takes a hard hit but holds on. Fred Strickland, number 53, with the pop. Well, a quick look at the NFL activity earlier today, and that was quite a thriller. San Francisco from behind to beat the Eagles. Giants beating up on Phoenix. The Cardinals coming off a good win a week ago over Seattle. Washington whipping up on Dallas. And look at the numbers here. 47-27, continued high-scoring games. Upset there, Pittsburgh over Minnesota. They get to the rest. 3rd down and 4. 2 wide receivers for Green Bay. Again, Majkowski slipped, recovers. Has the 1st down. Inside the 10, they'll mark it at the 7.
Lindy Infante giving a few instructions. He'll be bringing a play in. Majkowski looking downfield. He's going to get some pressure. He's not going to make anybody forget about Carl Lewis and his speed. But Majkowski very smartly goes for the 1st down marker, gets as much as he can, and gets out of bounds before somebody can get a shot on him.
Clint Didier brought in the play. He lines up double tight with West. The Rams take a timeout, and we'll be back at Anaheim Stadium in a moment. Quality. Well, you think time just slips away. It does sometimes, but suddenly it can magically reappear. It did here during the timeout, which was called by the Rams. The clock ticked down to 21. Look at this, folks. You've just gained some time back. Hard to do that, isn't it, life?
Well, we went away there, and not only were the Rams not paying much attention lately, neither was their timekeeper.
2:45 remains, 3rd quarter. Green Bay, 1st down, inside the 10. Forward to the 2. Forward looks like a whole new man to me. I mean, watching him over the first 2 years of his Green Bay career, he's running with abandon now.
Well, he's comfortable with the system now. Now he's able to play his game. Before, he was so worried about making mental mistakes and being able to properly absorb the offense that he wasn't able to play Brent Fullwood's football.
Quick look at some other final scores in earlier. Tampa Bay handing the Saints their 2nd loss. Green Bay 2nd and a goal to go. Mandarich is in the lineup as a tight end on the left, number 77. The pass to the right side, touchdown, Ed West. And those Packer fans in the end zone down there, the Brian Noble family and friends, are getting something to cheer about. They're a small, lonely group among the thousands here cheering for the Rams, but right now they're coming alive, pom-poms and all. Happy with a point after. 38-28. 10-point deficit, 2:34 still to play in the third quarter.
Well, here's West right here. They're going to run the play this way. Last time they were in this situation, they ran behind Mandrich, who's over here at left tight end. They don't do it this time. They fake that run to the left. They get the Rams going that way in the action. Ed West just delays. You see him just run out of your screen, and Majkowski just dumps him the ball, and there's nobody within 10 yards of him. Great call. Good call by Lindy Infante. There's big Ed West. You know, John Robinson said something interesting about tight ends. He said tight ends are made. They're not born. You've got to teach a tight end first to block, then you got to teach them to catch. They don't come as complete packages normally.
Well, Ed West has just emerged here as a very important part of the offense. An acknowledged good blocker out of Auburn, and not regarded as a pass receiver when he came into the pros. But Lindy Infante working him in specialized situations, suddenly an important part of what they're doing. 10-point deficit and so much time left to play. 2:34 in the third. Imagine what Green Bay did a week ago to a solid team like the Saints. The Rams have to be getting a little nervous right now. Short kickoff at the 10 is Ron Brown. Flags are down. They drop him at the 27-yard line. Burnell Dent, number 56. And one Packer is a little slow to get up down there, but apparently he's all right.
You know, back in 1980 when I was with the 49ers, we were behind 35-7 to the Saints and came back and beat them 38-35 in overtime. So the Rams, this is going to be, here comes the call from Jim Tunney.
Number 51 is 10 yards, makes it a first down.
You know, this is going to be a great test of the Rams' character. It's very difficult to be up and pumped for a game, get off to a big lead, and all of a sudden see it dwindle. Emotion is not a light switch. You can't turn it on and off. They're going to have to play this one on guts if they're going to keep ahead of this team.
Brett Fairnay's picked up the penalty for the Rams. It drops them back inside their 15. Greg Bell meets a swarming Packer defense out the right side. Brian Noble leading it. You know that Noble is especially pumped up. Randy, you talked about it earlier. When he comes home, he's excited about being here. All those folks here to cheer. His parents are on hand, and you know he's going to really be an inspirational leader out there, and he's that kind of a personality anyway.
Without a doubt, Tim. But, you know, when you get in this situation near the Rams, you can't make things go right. What do you go back to? You go back to what you do best. What do they do best? They get that big offensive line off the ball and just hand it to a running back. Just pick one, give them the ball.
2nd and 5. That's what they're doing. And it's Bell to the 43-yard line. A fine run by Bell. Johnny Holland finally got him.
And a deadly combination is when you say pick a back, and the back you pick is Greg Bell. They come off the ball. The Los Angeles Rams, like few lines in the league. You see Cox 72 comes off. Tom Newberry gets stuffed by Brian Noble, but Noble's so busy occupied by Newberry, he slips. Doug Smith gets a good block on Nelson, the nose guard, and Greg Bell cuts back and makes a fine run. You don't want to see a back of that quality loosen defensive backfield.
First down, Rams at their 41. Play action. Everett, lots of time, and picked off. 10 Stills to the 45-yard line. Everett had all kinds of time there. Another ill-advised throw.
That was, once again, they've run this play 3 or 4 times today. They faked their counter going to the right. Everett fakes the handoff to the back and peels back around on the play action and tries to hit Ellard crossing the field. Great positioning that time by the defensive back, though. Watch Everett here. You'll see the lineman on your right pull out like it's going to be a counter, fakes the handoff. There's nobody near him. He's got all the time in the world to throw. He tries to zip it in here. Gets it by Tim Harris, number 97. but doesn't quite get it by.
Ken Stills alertly on the ball. Now he's been starting for the injured Chuck Cecil and playing well through the first 2 weeks. It'll be hard to dislodge. First down, Packers. Majkowski eludes the rush. Whoops, picked out, no, broken up. Intended for Kemp, and the Rams nearly come up with a big defensive play, but Jerry Gray can't hold on.
This is one of the intangibles in football. How do you explain in the first half a quarterback throws average passes and they're picked off? Here, Don Majkowski throws a terrible pass. The only guy that has a chance is Gray. Perry Kemp comes in and strips the ball out. Nice play by Perry Kemp. That's a very heads-up wide receiver play. Here, Jerry Gray, you see, has the ball. It is an interception. Kemp strips that left arm, and he can't hold on to the ball. Excellent. Great camera work, too.
Second down from the 45-yard line. The Los Angeles Rams. 48 seconds left, third quarter. Good catch by a stumbling Keith Woodside. Concentrating on the ball, and the Packers have another first down.
You'll see Woodside at the top of the screen on this replay. Michael Stewart is going to be picking him up man-to-man. It's almost a pick. Doesn't quite clean him off. Look at that. Michael Stewart's he's tackling him before the ball gets there. Great concentration by Woodside.
At the 34-yard line, the Packers on the move again. 2 errant Everett passes have been costly. Majkowski nearly coughed it up the other way. John Robinson's temperature going up a little bit, no doubt. And that's going to wind it up here for the third quarter with the score. The Los Angeles Rams 38, the Green Bay Packers 28. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS. Coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by your Toyota dealer. Whatever car or truck you choose, you'll love the quality. Who could ask for anything more? New York Life, the company you keep. And by the U.S. Army, where you get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
Tim Ryan with Randy Cross. 15 minutes of regulation time to be played at Anaheim Stadium. The Rams, who led 31-7, are now leading by 10. The Packers have the ball in Rams territory as we begin the fourth. Sideliner complete. Woodside to the 31-yard line. Got about 3 on the play. Driven out by Michael Stewart. Stewart, number 23.
Majkowski's shown a lot of poise. He's made 1 bad pass, but look at this. Last 3 possessions. 9 plays, touchdown. 3 plays, touchdown. 6 plays, touchdown. Rams, on the other hand, have not had quite the success that the Green Bay Packers have enjoyed. 2 interceptions and 2 punts. John Robinson's got to be doing some serious worrying right now about his offense.
Majkowski sideline again. This time it is Kemp. He'll be short of the first down by about a yard. It'll leave 3rd and 1. Brett Farinese on the coverage. Number 51 made the tackle. But Majkowski just appears to be throwing with great confidence here in the second half, as though the first half never happened. That's what he did last week. He had 3 pickoffs in the first half this afternoon, and Woodside's been getting a lot of action here.
He's got dirt. They're tearing his numbers off his jersey. How come it's all on your back? His front looks fine. The back's got all kinds of stuff on.
3rd and 2, Green Bay, 27 of Los Angeles. He'll run. He did not make it. Fullwood, maybe a yard when they spot the ball. Alvin Wright and Sean Miller, the down lineman, standing him up tall, and they'll have a 4th and 1.
I think this is a good move by Lindy Infante and the Green Bay Packers. There's plenty of time left in this game. If they were to go for it here and not make it, I think emotionally it could be a crushing blow. This is a smooth move. Take the points, get 3, pull within a touchdown.
Chris Jackie, the rookie from UTEP. His first field goal try of the regular NFL season. From 42 yards away, and he's got it. 42-yard field goal by Chris Jackie. 38-31. Back here at Anaheim Stadium, in two lines, that tells a story, doesn't it? 38-7, the Rams in the first half. And in the second game of the doubleheader, Green Bay is leading 24-0. Now that adds up to 38-31.
I tell you, so far in the second half, the Rams have not had the emotion they showed in the first half. And from experience, I've been in this position. Big lead, people start coming back on you. Last year in Phoenix. Phoenix had us. We had them 23-0 in the fourth quarter. They came back and beat us. Rams aren't thinking, let's be aggressive. The Rams at this point are thinking, we got to hold on and not make another mistake.
So you wind up thinking survival, and that sometimes is a worse way to go. I recall that game because I broadcasted when the Cardinals came back, beat you guys 24-23. Out to the 20-yard line on the return. Carl Bland on the stop of Ron Brown.
A good indicator usually of a team's emotion is their special team play. Right there on that last kickoff return, we saw Green Bay. They were swarming. He had guys get around his legs and stand him up, and they're saying, here, I'll hold him up while you guys hit him. Go ahead, take your shot.
Jim Everett, 11 of 20, 184 yards. He has 2 touchdown passes, but he's got 2 intercepts, and they have been costly in the second half. 13:46 remaining to play. Bell got a couple, met by Bob Nelson. Number 79, Blaze Winter helping him out, number 68. Well, there it is, graphically spelled out. Rams with a 10-zip lead. Green Bay actually played pretty well in that quarter, but nothing good happened for them. And then everything went awry, and a huge lead at halftime for the Rams. But it's been all Packers in the second. Flags down on the second down play.
Ball start, number 61. Still second down.
Tony Slayton, the right guard, number 61. Rams have had to go without left tackle Irv Pankey since back early in the first half. Went out with a lower back problem, and Robert Cox has taken his place. There's a Pankey, and you know he'd like to be back out there in this circumstance with that lead slipping away.
Well, these Packers are aggressive. You know, they say a lion can smell fear. Defenses can smell uncertainty and lack of confidence, and right now the Ram offense seems very uncertain.
Second and 13. Short pass to Buford McGee, well covered by Holland. Tried to sneak McGee, circling him out in front there, and the linebacker Holland waiting for him. Brian Noble right there to help out.
Just like they're gang tackling on special teams, the Green Bay Packers are gang tackling on defense, and that's the kind of thing. You got a guy like Tim Harris, you've got Brian Noble. They inspire that. Mark Murphy in the defensive backfield, Dave Brown. They want to rally to the ball. That's it. Lindy and Fonny said the most impressive thing about the Rams defense was they rallied to the ball. Well, Green Bay is doing all the rallying right now.
Third down and about 9. So this is a really key third down situation for the Rams to reassert themselves. Remember, rushed, and he hit the official with a pass. Intended up the middle.
He was open, too. Hit him right in the chest.
Andy Ansici was the umpire that he hit, number 115.
You'll see this happen probably a dozen times out of the whole season in the NFL. Everett's getting some pressure. He can feel Patterson and Harris coming after him. He flips it. Ansic never gets a chance. Andy Ansic never had a chance to get out of the way.
Didn't show much in the way of hands there, did he?
You catch it, you're going to get hit.
Punt taken at the 35. Mickey Sutton. Newman on the hit. Flag down, however. against the Los Angeles Rams. Somebody downfield a little early. Looks like Lindy's saying make him kick it again.
This is always a gamble, Tim. Now, the Packers could take the ball.
Formation. Left side of the line, not up on the ball. 5 yards, it'll still be 4th down.
You're talking about not being up on the ball. You see that happen a lot on special teams nowadays. The linesmen are told to count how many guys are actually on the line and how many are in the backfield, because guys want to cheat back a little bit, because these corner guys that are rushing the punters are quick. See, Robinson, look at him. He's talking to his offense. You got to take the pressure off this defense. You haven't done anything so far in the second half. Get off your... I mean, he's giving it to him here. But like I was saying, this is a gamble. You can't have the ball at the 35. The gamble is Hatcher can't hit you again.
Sutton, the ex-Ram, gets into the 45 and still going to the 41. Mickey Sutton, one of 7 Plan B free agents on this Packer roster. He happens to be a former Ram. And Wiltshire finally stopped him, but good field position for Green Bay at the 41.
When things are going good, they're going good. Lindy won on that gamble.
We'll be right back.
Attention football fans. Get a free NFL warm-up jacket when you buy 10 rolls of Think Insulation R19 or higher from you know who. But hurry, offer ends October 15th.
Once upon a time, there was a guy named Goldilocks who was thirsting for refreshment. But this one, and this one. So then he moved to Diet Coke, and it was just right. The real cola taste you can drink more of because it's just 1 calorie.
Hey, somebody's been drinking our Diet Coke.
Yeah. And there he is.
Hey, it's the 3 Bears. What's up? Yeah. That's for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Sports.
You think Tony Mandarich wants in this game? He hasn't taken his helmet off since the game began.
Now, which guy's ready to go? You got the backup quarterback here. Delwig is sitting here going, well, you know, you go out to the right. We've called a play over here. Mandarich is going, the heck with a play. I want to be in the play.
Green Bay ball, 41 of L.A. First down. Deep for Sharp. Flag down, incomplete in the end zone. A likely interference call, but let's be sure. If he pushed off, they're bringing the ball downfield. Clifford Hicks had the coverage.
That was the exact same play-action pass that Sterling Sharp beat Hicks on in the 3rd quarter. Faked the ball up the middle to the running back. Majkowski.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 28 in the end zone. Ball be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
You can see Clifford Hicks, number 28, never looked back for the ball. He was studying the receiver and went to face guard him. He can do all that as long as he looks back. If you don't look back for the ball, they're going to throw a flag on that every time.
1-yard line of scrimmage for Green Bay, first down. Sharp nearly hung on to the ball as it was. Mandarich is in at the left tight end position. Didier sets on the wing next to him. West on the other side. Loose ball. Rams have it. Buford McGee, I believe, dropped the ball. Not McGee, pardon me, Fullwood. Brent Fullwood of the Packers, and we'll wait and see who came up with it. Reed. Doug Reed, number 93.
We've got a Ram down on the field. The training staff and John Robinson are there paying attention. We'll see this on the rebound. There's Doug Reed, happy about the recovery. There's no excuse for a running back in this situation unless it was a fumble that was caused to drop the ball here. Fullwood's driving through. We couldn't see where the ball came from on that ground level angle. You know, from the other side, Green Bay could make the... Fullwood's obviously saying, hey, I was in the end zone before I dropped the ball. But Fullwood's going to come in. Here's Stamps, 50. On the right-hand side of your head, lower his helmet, come in. He catches him right on the elbow, right where the ball is. The ball is now loose, and it's bouncing into the end zone. And Doug Reed, number 93, is going to kind of burrow down to the bottom of that pile and come up with it.
Doug Reed came up with the ball. Stamps made the hit, and Stamps was the injured Ram, but he's up and back on the bench, so the Notre Dame rookie with a big play there. And recovered in the end zone, so it comes out to the 20-yard line. Rams ball. A huge turnover as the Packers had completely taken the play away here. 11:23 still to play. Now the onus on the Rams offense to move it upfield. And the Packers to try and keep their momentum by getting it right back. And apparently the replay gentlemen were taking an extra look at that play, and it stands as well. A Fullwood fumble covering the end zone by Reed of the Rams. First down at the 20. Everett. Incomplete, intended for Eller. Diving in front was Mark Murphy. May have tipped it, at the very least distracted him.
We saw that last replay on the near touchdown by Brent Fullwood that ended up being a fumble. Here we see Stamps, number 50, left-hand corner of the screen. Great linebacker instincts. He sees the lead block. He sees where it's going to go. He comes in and puts his helmet, we can't quite see, but right there, right on the ball. Look, that's where the ball's coming loose in the middle of your screen. It's on the ground. Doug Reed recovers.
Second and 10. Bell stopped at the line of scrimmage. Murphy coming up to fill, helping Brian Noble, who made the first hit.
You know, Brian Noble made a point to us yesterday. He says, you know, guys, for years here, the defense knew that if we won the game, or if we were going to win a game, the defense had to win a game. Now, all of a sudden, they realize, gee, we got a pretty good offense here. All we really have to do now is stop them. Our offense will score.
Saw Fullwood getting a little attention there. He came into the game with a little hurt on the leg. Third down. Long 9 for Everett. Lots of time on the roll, but trying to find an open man, he does. First down, Rams. Aaron Cox. Number 84, the second-year man from Arizona State. A key catch here.
Jim Everett had enough time standing out there about the 20-yard line, batting his hand on the ball. He should have had an umbrella, a lawn chair, a little cooler there for him, because nobody was even close to him. Here we're using this little boot out again. Everett's back to look at him pounding on the ball. Where do I go? Where do I go? And he spots his man, zips it over there. Fine pass.
First down, Rams. They lead 38-31. And Bell is about 3 near the 35. Nelson tripped him up. A game that appeared to be an absolute rout at halftime turns into one of those nail biters, and still lots of time left. Just crossing the 10-minute-to-go mark in regulation time. Second down. Holohan picks up about 3. Linebackers John Anderson and Johnny Holland trying to stop him.
Anderson's not a real flashy linebacker. Very, very consistent. Great against the run. Great against the run. Against the pass, he's all right. If he was better against the pass, he'd be out there in the nickel situations. He isn't.
Saw Fritz Shermer stepping up the Rams defense for the next series. San Diego has defeated Kansas City for the Chargers' first win under Jim McMahon. Third down. Holohan again, stretching for the first down. He had it anyway. Bernell Dent made the tackle there. And a quick look on our CBS Sports Wire and all of the scores from earlier today in the NFL. Pittsburgh was one of the big upsets, a thriller in overtime. Seattle, a big winner today. Everett for Bell. Bell gets about 3. The 46-yard line of Los Angeles. Noble pushed him out. A short passing game of the Rams, chinking upfield now from the 20-yard line, and they're at the 46.
You know, if you're going to eat up the clock, you'd think you got to run it, but they've lost the luxury of kind of doing what they figure they might want to do. Now they're just going to have to take what Green Bay is going to give them. With 8 minutes and 21 seconds, the Rams have got a very poised, John Robinson kind of led drive going here. The clock was their adversary. Now moving the ball like this, it is definitely their ally.
Here's Bell, he's got room. Noble pulls him down, but he has a first down. In Packer territory at the 44. The slumbering Rams waking up here as they got that turnover in the end zone and are grinding up yardage and the clock.
Well, it's one of the great luxuries of having a veteran offensive line as the Rams do. At a time like this, you look to that group to reassert itself and take over a football game that seems to be slipping away.
Bell now has 159 yards rushing, 23 carries today. Moan Johnson in motion. Bell again. Hauled down by Sean Patterson, but he has another Ram first down.
The Rams aren't doing anything extremely fancy right here. Watching the middle of the screen, Doug Smith comes off a little wham block on Majkowski, 61 by the fullback, and Greg Bell just doing some nice running. Once you get that running back the first 3 yards and get him past the defensive line, it's up to him to do his stuff. Here, Greg Bell is limping a little bit. I know in this kind of heat, we've had a few other guys coming out with cramps. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
And he came into the game with a shoulder injury, but John Robinson knows that this guy will give it everything he's got. That's what he expects out of these backs. He works them. They earn their money. They always have under Robinson.
Right here at the end of the play, he got a knee by Patterson as he planted that right leg. Patterson kind of crammed his knee into the back of his knee, upper thigh. That could have been it, but you can never tell. He's getting a lot of work.
First down, Rams. Everett, sideliner, incomplete. Intended for Ellard. Well, now for the Packers, they've got to come up with a big defensive play. As the clock in favor of the Rams, 6:51. It's stopped now on the incompletion. You see Bell. Looks like he's eager to get back out there, but still on the sideline.
Well, it's hard to really say. A John Robinson type back from the days he was at SC or here with the Rams, it's not a particular injury, it's cumulative trauma. They get the ball so much, they get banged up. Here, 10 plays, this kind of a drive is eating up the clock and is going to kill Green Bay.
Everett, safe man is Holohan, and Holohan picks up about 8. Ryan Noble stops him in the infield dirt. There's another interesting high-scoring ball game in the fourth quarter. Miami and the Jets tied. 66 points on the board.
The Rams run that play we've been talking about. They're going to fake the counter with the lineman on the left-hand side of your screen pulling, fakes the handoff. Instead of going downfield, though, Jim Everett's been burned on that. He drags Holohan across the middle and hits him on a nice, safe pass. Picks up a good 7 yards.
Got to believe nice, safe passes are going to be the order of the day for the Rams.
Definitely.
Third down and 2. Bell back in. Buford McGee. This is Bell, and he's hit behind the line. Tim Harris rocked him. Bell did well to hold on. Fourth down. Lansford will come on to attempt the field goal. What a huge play this is.
Greg Bell knows I got a good offensive line in front of me. I'll just zip up here and get this first down. Tim Harris fights off Moan Johnson, makes a form tackle and dumps Greg Bell on his back. Great.
45-yard attempt by Lansford. 2 of 3 this year. field goal by Mike Lansford. Lead, 5:17 to play.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. The San Francisco 49ers possess the most dangerous quarterback tandem in the league. Steve Young's legs and Joe Montana's arm make San Francisco signal callers almost unstoppable. A spectacular run by Young beat the Vikings last year, while Montana's passing delivered the game-winning touchdown in Super Bowl 23. Young and Montana have both come through in the clutch. Teammates who make the 49ers the best they can be.
Dear Dad.
CBS.
Jim Ryan with Randy Cross at Anaheim Stadium. Tonight on CBS, why are so many hospital workers, including a respected chief of orthopedics at San Francisco General, quitting? Well, they're afraid they could end up with AIDS. That's tonight on 60 Minutes. That will be seen in its entirety here on the West Coast. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote, the season premiere, and then a couple of specials on Special Sunday. First, Island Sun with Richard Chamberlain, and then it's Wolf. All tonight on CBS. Coming next will be 60 Minutes. Except on the West Coast at its regular time. Lansford's high kickoff. Taken by Scott Stephen, the linebacker again. He's made 2 of those catches today. Down at the 21-yard line.
You know, a lot of people wonder there, why would a person ever fair catch a kickoff? That's not a return guy. That's a linebacker. Coaches teach players, don't take a chance, catch the ball, get down on a knee, give us the ball. Don't be a hero.
Well, he's done it twice and done it properly. John Robinson got to feel a little bit better now, that 10-point cushion, but still 5:12 to go. Now will Green Bay try to get it down the field in a hurry, Randy, or are they going to stay with a little mixture of run and pass?
I think they got to keep what got them there. Medium range passing.
Play action stuff like that. Sterling Sharp, first down to the 32-yard line, the 35-yard line.
Lindy Infante's talk with us last night almost seems prophetic. Here we'll see at the bottom of the screen, Sterling Sharp, number 84, pushes the Darrell Henley off. Great zip pass right on the sideline.
They wanted more big play production out of Sterling Sharp, and they've gone to him in a lot of critical situations today. Majkowski's numbers coming up from the disastrous first half. Those 3 pickoffs came in the first half. Sideline complete. Woodside escapes nicely, and he'll be close to a first down.
Looked like we might have had a little face mask there right at the end of that tackle.
Michael Stewart, number 23, pulling him down. Woodside's had a big game for the Packers, primarily as a receiver.
Face mask, number 23, 5 yards, added to the end of the run, and it'll make it a first down.
That's Stewart.
You get a back like Woodside fighting and running like that. There you see Michael Stewart gets his hand right in there into the face mask. It's quick. He didn't do it long, but it was a great job of catching it by the ref on the far side.
Darrell Henley is on the right corner for Clifford Hicks. We haven't had an injury report on Hicks, but of course he got burned a couple of times on long stuff. Majkowski, deep sideliner, complete to Sharp, and it was Henley who got burned. Sharp still going to the 12-yard line. Sterling Sharp from South Carolina, the #1 pick a year ago. He is having himself an afternoon.
You get a wide receiver that you pick #1, like a Sterling Sharp here at the bottom of your screen. You expect him to have speed. You expect him to have good hands. You expect him to have agility. But the intangible, watch this. He's going to get up. He'll start running. Look at the strength. He can't be tackled by one person. Guys are trying to pull him. He'll start fighting. Look at the knee drive. He doesn't want to go down. He's a fighter.
8 catches today, 187 yards and a touchdown, and Green Bay on the doorstep again at the 11-yard line.
They might be reviewing this one to see if maybe as he leaped up in the air, Henley came in and might have touched him on the foot and sent him to the ground.
That would make it down by contact. That's a tricky one to call there when you see such a great effort on the part of the receiver.
Now we'll see the end zone look here, and what we're going to look for is was Sharp touched in the foot or lower leg by Henley diving underneath him. Look, here comes the ball. No. Wow, it looks like he, I don't know.
Hurdled him.
It looks like he came through clean.
The runner is ruled down by contact at the 34-yard line. 34, it'll be first down.
How about this guy here? No, he's still on his feet here.
They're going to rule that Henley did brush his leg as he was in the air after he caught the ball.
Well, you know, either way, whichever way that play went, you have to say that's a shame when a guy makes a great athletic play like this. And for just the touch, if it occurred here, according to the replay officials, it did. And for that to be eliminated, it looks like he got a hand on his right foot there.
There you go. From this sideline, it looked like from the end zone that he dove between them. But from the sideline, you can see his left leg was moved by Henley as it moved through.
Correct call, but a great athletic effort by Sharp. And they will bring it back to the 35. Now that changes the complexion of things considerably for Green Bay, but they do have a first down. And they place it at the 34-yard line of the Rams. 4:20 still remaining. Well, we have had it all in this game, and yet another high-scoring game, as we have seen throughout the league through the first 3 weeks. And now Sharp, 8 catches, 164 yards. His best as a Packer. Majkowski with lots of time. Can't find a man and takes it out of bounds. Just got back to the line of scrimmage. Now don't forget, 60 Minutes upcoming next following our NFL coverage, except on the West Coast. You'll see it at its regular time. Second down and 10 as Majkowski got just to the line of scrimmage.
That was a good, smart play by Majkowski there. He threw that, was going to throw that ball, looked like into the middle of the field, trying to find a receiver, had the common sense and the presence of mind just to pull it down and take a gain, 2 yards.
Packers trying for yet another improbable comeback. That's blocked at the line of scrimmage, batted down. I believe Alvin Wright got a hand on it, number 99. Third down.
There's Alvin Wright. He's 6'2". He's listed at 290. I put him a little bit closer to 300, and he must have thrown that ball awful low for Alvin Wright to get up and bat it down.
Now you've played against Alvin Wright frequently in your rivalry with the Rams. How do you rate him as a nose man?
He's a very good nose guard, very strong, very aggressive. You'll see him right here in the middle of your screen. Gets his hand up. Good play by Alvin Wright. This is the key time for the Packers. They've got to have a first down here. They've got to get 7 on this drive.
Complete. Carl Bland. The Plan B free agent from Detroit comes up with a huge play. It'll be first down, Packers at the 24-yard line. Carl Bland out of Virginia Union.
Good pass protection from Majkowski. Majkowski zips it in there. And Bland, it just gets through, goes right through Newsom's hands and into Bland's arms.
Now they're measuring here. It looked to us like he had the first down, but let's be sure as the officials are measuring. Yes, indeed. First down, Packers, 3:37 to go. They're down by 10. 45-yard field goal by Lansford looming large as they got that fumble recovery in the end zone, started from their 20, came up with a critical 3 points. To the 12. First down, Green Bay. 3:10 and ticking. Other game still underway. Denver by 10 over the Raiders. San Diego defeated Kansas City.
Yeah, I find it curious, Tim. Green Bay is running a lot of play action for these nice pass plays they're completing. They're not running the ball extremely effectively, but the Rams are biting on the play action. You know, something you see not only in Bill's type of an offense, but Bill Walsh's type of offense, but Lindy Infante's also, where you throw your pattern, your plays go by patterns, not by design.
Well, the Packers take a timeout. Majkowski wants to be sure here. 2:52 to play. Well, next Sunday on CBS, these Green Bay Packers will be at home against Atlanta, and regardless of the outcome of today's game, again, they have shown great tenacity, great spirit, and this young team growing in confidence. The Redskins will be at New Orleans. Doubleheader action. We'll see the Rams at San Francisco. What a big one that'll be, again, regardless of the outcome here today. And the Giants winners today will be at Dallas. Dallas is 0-3. Well, you know you're in La La Land when you check out the fans here at Anaheim, but those are the Packer fans here in Los Angeles. No doubt some of Noble's Knights down there.
Painted in the green and gold. You know, I made a point just a little while ago about the plays. Lindy Infante seems like if he wants to run a certain pattern, he's going to call the play that has a pattern in it. If it's a drop back, fine. If it's a play action, that really doesn't matter at this point. He's trying to get a receiver to a certain part of the field.
First down, Green Bay. Woodside and Michael Haddix in the lineup now in the backfield. Haddix to block. The pass is out to Haddix, and Haddix fights his way to the 2-yard line. Michael Haddix, another Plan B free agent coming over from the Eagles. First down and goal at the 2-yard line. Each team with 2 timeouts to go. Richard Brown and Michael Stewart stopping Haddix there. Well, they're going to measure this. It appeared to be a first down, but they're calling for the sticks. Everett warming up on the sidelines.
John Robinson was just over talking to Jim Everett, and you got the impression just from watching this from up here, he was telling him, look, they might score, we're going to get the ball back, you'd better hold on to it. What you have to do is you've got to get the first downs. We don't want these guys to get the ball back.
And it is a first down. First and goal. The ball is just outside the 2-yard line. Majkowski looking calm and poised in that huddle. He's a fiery guy, but he's been a very poised man in the second half after the misfortune of the first half. Mandarich is in there again at the left end position. Didier on the wing. Now Didier in motion. Majkowski lobbing to the end zone for West, and he is pushed down. There'll be an interference penalty on Mel Owens. Literally knocked West on his backside before the ball even left the hands of Majkowski.
You know, I'm really impressed here by Lindy Infante.
Interference, defense, number 58 in the end zone. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line, first down.
I'm real impressed by Lindy Infante and Don Majkowski. You see Tony Manders checking in with Jim Tunney. I'm still in. He's getting some playing time. But I'm impressed by their patience. They're not going for this flashy plays. Here you see Majkowski is going to drop back, timing pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and lob it up in the air. Look at that, clearly face guarding. He never looked back for the ball, and then he dove into the receiver.
First and goal from the 1. Fullwood driving into the end zone, touchdown. 2:21 still to play.
You know, Brent Fullwood was thinking 2 things. Keep driving, score a touchdown, and wrap 2 hands around the ball, and don't drop it this time.
Well, I think it's time for us to just reiterate the Packer comeback situation here. It's still possible for them. The Rams will try to prevent that with their offensive possession upcoming. 21 points. They came from behind last week to beat New Orleans 35-34. Their best ever comeback, a 23-point deficit, as Jackie gets the point after, and that occurred against the Rams in Milwaukee in 1982 when they came from behind 23 down to win it 35-23. They were 24 points down in this game. They're now 3. Make that 4.
Ground level here, and Brent Fullwood's going to get it. It wasn't a particularly good job of blocking by the offensive line of the Green Bay Packers. The Rams filled well. Brent Fullwood was not about to be denied. He's driving, he's running. Look, he gets through the goal line, he puts that other left hand over the ball. He's going to be safe. This is so far, we've watched a team that was behind 38-7 at the half come back into this half and score 31 points and pretty much be uncontested so far in the second half.
And they trail by only 3 points here with 2:21 to go. Well, now John Robinson and Jim Everett got to find a way, as you outlined, Randy, to keep the ball. They are now in the survival mode here. They're not looking to do anything except hold on to that lead.
Well, the first thing they want to do is get the ball in their possession. The Rams, obviously, going to see here, they're going to be anticipating an onside kick. They've got their onside kick return team out here with 2 guys deep at around the 17-18-yard line, and the other 9 guys are lined up in between the 45 and basically the 45-yard lines here.
Chris Jackie will be kicking it off, the rookie. Into the end zone. Ron Brown covers it there, and the Rams will start from their 20 with 2:13 remaining to play regulation time. Lindy Infante on the sidelines, hoping for that big defensive play. Anaheim Stadium, and it's kind of strangely quiet here. These fans saw their team up with a huge lead. Suddenly, they're looking at a 3-point deficit in a game that is spelled out on the scoreboard. 38-7 at halftime for the Rams, and it's been all Green Bay.
At this point, the Rams need 2 first downs. Both teams have 2 timeouts. 2 first downs, and this game is over.
That is Buford McGee. Swing it out into the flat for McGee, and he picks up about 4. The clock is stopped.
You know, that's a curious play. I got to be honest with you. Why throw a pattern out near the sideline where you know even if your guy catches it, he's going to be immediately knocked out of bounds and stop the clock? You want to eat it up. I'm sure Buford's supposed to turn it upfield, but you're throwing the ball within 3 or 4 yards of the sideline.
That was a little unusual. Also, of course, if you make any mistake at all, it's picked off. The guy's got nothing but end zone staring him in the face. Second down and a long 6. Everett upfield this time. Good catch by Ellard and inbound. At the 39-yard line, Jakes forced him out. Linebacker Johnny Holland looked at the official kind of questioningly about whether or not he was inbounds.
Well, the key here on a play like this is when the receiver goes up and catches the ball, does he have both hands on it, and do both feet come back down inbounds? Has he got possession? There's one, and he drags the other one in. That is an all-pro play right there.
Henry Ellard. Ron Pitts has taken over for Jakes at the left corner. Pitts just coming off a knee injury. Jakes has had a few problems during the course of this game, and a couple last week as well.
They're probably reviewing this upstairs. It's a catch. He seems to have possession of the ball. I don't know.
Hard to tell. That's going to probably be in the inconclusive category.
This is curious, though, Tim. Is this illustrate the change in the Los Angeles?
The play stands. Completed catch, first down.
It is inconclusive is indeed the case, and so the play stands as called a legal catch.
Does this show that the change in the Ram offense? I mean, the Ram offense a couple years ago, they'd run the ball to grind it out here. Jim Everett's dropping back and throwing it.
Well, right, and it's not that Bell hasn't been doing the job for them. He sure has. They let him carry it this time, and he grinds out about 4, maybe 5. John Anderson on the hit. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. 1:59 officially left to play. Rams 2nd and 5 when we return. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross. This has turned into a thriller from what appeared to be a rout. 1:59 to go. 2nd and 5. The Rams have the ball and a 3-point lead. They're at their own 44-yard line. Packers desperate to get the ball for one last attempt at the end zone. Greg Bell. Close to a first down. Noble and Harris on the stop. Packers take a timeout. They'll have one more to go. Greg Bell is now up to 175 yards on the day and 27 carries. So he has been effective on the ground, to say the least. Well, a quick look at all the scores from earlier today. 49ers coming from behind to beat Philadelphia. Montana, big day. Jimmy Hoffa still missing. That story indicating rumors that he was apparently buried under the Meadowlands turf. Washington, a winner today. Chicago, big over Detroit. Pittsburgh, a big upset over Minnesota. Vikings struggling the last 2 weeks. Buffalo and Houston in a shootout in overtime. 5 touchdowns for Kelly. Seattle bouncing back from last week's loss. Indianapolis over Atlanta. The Colts losing to the Rams last week. Both quarterbacks hurt in that game. Dickerson injured as well. Tampa Bay upsetting the Saints, have lost 2 in a row. Another good day for Testaverde. And Denver, their 2nd win in a row over the Raiders. And San Diego wins their first under McMahon, and a shootout that finally ends with the Jets on top. High-scoring games. Lindy Infante, I would think, disputing the Ellard catch as being a good catch, but he's on the far side of the field. So that's like a tennis fan at the U.S. Open up in the cheap seats whistling at a line call. And that's assuming that that's what Infante was complaining about. No doubt he'll tell us when we get to Milwaukee next week.
Short of a major disaster on the part of the LA Rams, if they can get this first down, I believe this is your ball game.
3rd down and a half yard. Bell. Johnny Holland stopped him at the 5-yard line. Greg Bell has been outstanding today. A 47-yard run.
Well, everybody's up. They know it's going to be a run. It's a quick pitch out here to the screen, to the left side of your screen. Greg Bell sees the opening. He sees the gap, cuts back and makes it. Tim Harris doesn't have enough momentum going the other way. He can't stop. Now he's just going to go for a race. He's got to be getting tired. He's got over 210 yards rushing and doesn't quite have enough to get by Holland there and get into the end zone.
222 yards on the day, and a tired Greg Bell can barely make it back to the Rams bench. Greg Bell is not concerned about Eric Dickerson not being in a Ram uniform. It's his job, and he's doing it well. Down at the 6-yard line, the Rams will have the ball with 54 seconds left, and it looks like they will have survived this valiant comeback attempt by the Packers. And don't forget, 60 Minutes will follow immediately the conclusion of our football telecast, and those of you on the West Coast will see it at its regular time, our outstanding Sunday night show, 60 Minutes on CBS. So the Rams will move to 3-0 along with the 49ers, who had a battle to beat the Eagles today in Atlanta and New Orleans. behind them at 1-2. Next week, those two undefeated teams will face each other here on CBS, and I know, Randy, you're particularly looking forward to that one.
I think it's going to be a great game. It's two high-powered offenses and two very aggressive defenses.
Jim Everett had a great first half, stumbled a bit in the second, but he's got his team in position to win.
You know, Tim, at this point, this game has served two lessons, I think. It served a lesson to the Rams not to get overconfident, not to get too cocky when you get out and you get a lead on somebody. And it served, I think, an equally valuable lesson to the Green Bay Packers that they are a team that can come back. They're a team that hangs together in the bad times. And I think come the end of the year, this will really reap dividends for Lindy Infante and the Green Bay Packers.
Well, and they've got a couple of little easier competition games coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I think they can go away from here feeling good about themselves despite the defeat. For the Rams, their numbers are on the board. They're 3-0. Chance to tell you that the coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Charles H. Milton III. Today's game produced by Bob Monsbach and directed by Kathy Barretto. The executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. And our usual outstanding crew and support today to bring you the pictures of the winners and the losers. And there Ken Rutgers, who gave it all he had out there today, as did all of his teammates.
Fred Strickland, number 53. You know, at this point of a game, when things go bad like this, when you're on the losing side, as Green Bay is, there's Dave Brown. You're not going to find a prouder guy around than Dave Brown. He's the kind of guy right here, and the Mark Murphys and the Majkowskis that this Green Bay team is going to rally around.
So Everett just using up the clock here. And what seemed like an improbable effort on the part of the Packers has come to be the case, but what an effort they gave.
You can't say enough about the character this Green Bay Packers team really showed today. I think they showed people last week they have the ability to come back and beat a team like New Orleans. The LA Rams have an offense that can play with anybody in this league, and their defense is supposed to be equally as good. And the Packers have showed maybe they belong somewhere up in that echelon.
Credit to the Rams, especially after their fumble recovery by Reed in their own end zone, to bring it downfield and come up with a winning field goal by Mike Lansford. Turned out to be the margin in this wild football game at Anaheim Stadium. And the final score, the LA Rams 41, the Green Bay Packers 38. We'll be back at Anaheim in a moment.
Miller Genuine Draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Well, there were two games played here today. The Rams won the first half, Green Bay won the second, but when you add them up, the Rams outlasted them by 3 in a thriller. And so for Randy Cross, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from Anaheim Stadium. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.